Today we're here to talk about global solutions to reducing CO2 and their ecological footprint. I'm Cameron Escott, and I'm here with Riley and Raji. Today I'll be talking about the United Kingdom and how they've reduced their CO2 emissions since 1990, the main of which they've been movement towards renewable energy sources. The corporate response to this is that big companies like Amazon have pledged to 100% renewable energy sources by the year 2030, and hundreds of UK-based companies have pledged to net zero carbon emissions based on renewable and sustainable practices. They've even adopted the Heroes of Net Zero Awards, which is awarded to major companies who have accomplished this net zero goal. The environmental effects of CO2, especially in the United Kingdom, has to do with temperature increase, ocean acidification, but one of the main causes, as you can see on the bottom right, is flooding in the UK because of the extreme weather conditions that they see. The effects of consumption changes, movement towards renewable energy sources, is that it will create over 2 million jobs in the green collar industry by 2030, which is a huge boost to the economy. Next, it will be Riley to talk about the USA.
Yes, the US's current trends for CO2 emissions are down by 11% from 2019 to 2020. The primary cause of this is due to the COVID-19 pandemic, which started March in 2020. The pandemic caused a reduction in the economic activity and transportation nationwide, which is two of the main drivers of CO2 emissions. This caused a 13% decrease in CO2 emissions from transportation. The shift from coal to less carbon intensive energies such as natural gas are ongoing to renewable energy. The US's efforts to transitioning from high carbon sources such as coal and natural gas to lower carbon sources like hydroelectric, wind, solar power, and biomass, which to the right is a picture of wind power. The outcomes based on these changes above are improving air quality, improving human health, decreasing number of deaths caused by air pollution, and relieving pressure put on the healthcare system, which are all common solutions to reducing ecological footprints as well. Now, next up is India.
India's current trend in CO2 emission has been reducing 25% between 2005 to 2016, and it plans to achieve more than 40% by 2030. India has installed non-fossil energy for electricity generation, for example, solar, wind, hydro, and nuclear in 2019, which will also help the reduction of CO2 emissions. India is not planning on investing in coal source anymore. Many state governments in India are also controlling the use of old gas vehicles and reducing traffic congestion, since India is also known as one of the highest populated developing countries in the world. Environmental impacts in India is due to many economical disadvantages. Many people in rural areas are still using numerous energies that are powered by fossil fuels such as cooking gas, kerosene, wood, crop waste, and cow dung cakes. Due to that, side effects of emissions in India are still rising. With rising temperature, India will also be needing support from international treaties, for example, Paris Agreement, in order to stay below 1.5 degrees Celsius. Other initiatives India has been taking is that they've been planting more plants and trees in order to absorb more of the CO2 emission from the atmosphere by 2030, which will be about 2.5 to 3 billion tons.
So as you can see, there are many different methods for each country to reduce their CO2 emissions and their ecological footprint. But one of the main causes has been the movement towards renewable energy sources. Although these major countries have different effects and different causes and different impacts of CO2, but there is a movement towards renewable energy, and that is the main portion of our presentation. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.